What's up, y'all? Let's get to it. I'm back. Happy Thursday. We're talking about marketing, some marketing tips for photographers. These are things y'all need to know. Y'all have to get in your head. It got to be plastered up here, when it comes to business. So I'm going to put comment. Girl. To join. What's up? Hello. Let me pin my comment. All right. Good evening, you guys. What's up? So, my name is Ray Whitney. I am a photographer turned business coach, and I want to talk a bit about marketing and then also some things that I have going on. I have a big project that's coming up. But I wanted to hop on because my foundational program From Hobbyist to Pro enrollment is open, and we're going to be doing a 5-week live cohort that includes trainings and coaching and on pricing and marketing and content, all of the business things, right? And so I want to come on and talk about that always, because I think that if you're a photographer and you are struggling with your sales, right? Maybe you are inconsistent in your content. Maybe your messaging is just not really hitting. Maybe you're just not really showing up and you're wondering why leads are not coming your way, because that's just not how it works. Then you need to check out From Hobbyist to Pro 2.0 and get on the inside. So this course is a foundational business course. So literally it is the business of running a sustainable photography business. Like, a lot of photographers do not want to focus on the business, and that is the problem, and that is the issue. Okay. And so From Hobbyist to Pro is going to teach you strategies and give you the clarity and get you out of the overwhelming confusion that you might have in your business in order to get to that next level. So I posted on my stories that I was going to be doing this live, and I wanted to also show you guys a new tethered tool that I am setting up and will be using at South by Southwest, which is coming up next week. So it's just like a lot going on over here. And as always, I'm open to questions, comments, anything. If anything resonates, please let me know in the chat. I love when people kind of comment back to me here. And because sometimes live, I'm just talking, but I am absolutely here to help. And I want whomever needs the help, to know that it is available. If you're a photographer and you need help in your business, help is available to you, and help can unlock your next level. Absolutely. I've seen it time and time again. I've had the privilege and honor of coaching over 100 some photographers in their businesses, and helping them to develop into more confident CEOs, and helping them to think like an entrepreneur, to think like a business owner. And this is really, really important. And it's right on par with my tips for today, right? And the title of this live is The Best Marketer Wins, because that's honestly the truth, right? Like, you can be a great photographer that takes beautiful photos, but if you are not marketing or understand how to market, how to create content, what to say, how to show up, and being consistent in these things, then your ideal client is just not finding you, no matter how amazing your photos are. Now, they might find you through word of mouth. They might find you, from another past client, and those things are great, but we have to think about our well-rounded marketing ecosystem. Referrals and word of mouth is just one leg of it. And if that leg is doing what it needs to do and bring you the business that you want it to bring, then awesome. But if it's not, then you need to think about this free tool that we have access to called social media. We're all on it. We're all on some type of platform, right? And so that's why, okay, this leads me into my first point. If you're a photographer, please invite some other photographers here on the live. I'm going to send it to my coaching clients, because I always tell them I'm going to tell them when I go live. But if you're a photographer, invite some people so folks can get this tea, they can get this information, and we can free somebody that needs some help in their business. So let me invite some folk here. I just invited a few people. Okay. So my first tip when it comes to marketing, better as a photographer, my first tip is to get clear on your audience. Okay. You are not a photographer for any and everybody. If you really, really, really get real with yourself and you start to think about the service that you offer and who you offer it to, listen, there is an energetic exchange when it comes to being a photographer. There's so much energy that's a part of it. And when the energy is good, it's like we're able to really make magic. We're able to get in our flow. We're able to feel confident. We're able to feel really good. But when the energy is off, be honest, the photos are off, right? So when it comes to marketing, my first tip for photographers is to get really clear on who it is you are talking to. Who is your target audience, right? And so I have a unique way of doing this. I know that we hear a lot on social media, oh, define your target audience or create your ideal avatar and things like that. And sometimes those things can feel so like airy or just like confusing on like, okay, but how do we do that? I love to help my people really get in it. Like I like for them as visuals, because us photographers, we are visual people. I like for us to think about it from a visual standpoint. Like if we had a client that we absolutely loved and we just had such a great time with this client, right? How can we copy and paste this client, right? So we have to dissect what made this client so amazing? What were the attributes? What were the things that they were looking for? What were the questions that they had, right? And so start to write those down and let those things that you write down be content ideas, be things that are generating some ideas in your mind of topics that you can speak to or things that you can speak to. Because I believe that if one amazing client that you love to have these type of questions, there's so many more that have those similar questions, that are wondering those same things, that are looking for those same things in a service provider, in a photographer that they want to book with, right? So the first thing is that you are not a photographer for any and everybody, right? You want to work with a certain audience, right? You want to work with a certain type of client, one that looks a certain type of way, one that's willing to invest in a certain type of way, one that's going to actually use their photos in a certain type of way, one that's going to give you a nice energy exchange that actually feels really, really good, right? And so again, my first tip for when it comes to marketing for photographers is to get clear on your audience. Now, I hear a lot of people ask me this all the time, like, okay, Ray, well, I hear you, get clear on my audience, but maybe I have two different genres that I want to focus on. Maybe I have different audiences that I want to sell to, and that's fine, right? I think that when it comes to defining your niche and defining your genre of photography, I think it's okay to have 2 to 3 specialties, but be able to name those specialties, be able to show work in those specialties, and be able to really, really, really dissect that audience so that you can start to show up and talk to them more clearly. This is going to help you so much when it comes to the clarity that you need when it comes to marketing and messaging and attracting your audience. Okay, so getting clear on your audience. I'm going to say this again, and I say this with love. You are not a photographer for any and everybody. You don't want to work with just any and everybody. Truth be told, you really don't. Maybe early on, you have a willingness to do that because you're learning, you're growing, you're trying to push yourself, you're trying to define your style, you're willing to kind of say yes to whatever. And there are seasons that are important for you to do that. But when you start to grow and you start to get an idea of what you do not love to shoot, like projects that come your way that you're just not excited about, or when you start to pay attention to projects that come your way that you're so excited about. You're like prepping for it. You're thinking about it. You're doing all the things. You want to go the extra mile. You want to deliver amazing results because there's something about this audience that you absolutely love. Then that is the genre. That is the specialty. That is starting to point you down in the direction of how to define your audience, your target audience. And this is really big for marketing messaging. I see so many photographers struggle with this. They do. They try to talk to any and everybody. Or maybe once I was just recently having a conversation with someone in the DM, and they were like, oh, I really want to book more weddings. And I was like, okay. Hey, girl. Hey, Chastity. Thank you for joining my live. I'm like, okay, you want to book more weddings. And I go over to their page, and there's not a wedding in sight on their timeline. There's not the what they want to book and what they are showing are two different things. Now, why could this be? There's a few reasons this could be. Number one, maybe because they just don't have any work, or they're telling themselves they don't have any newer or relevant work in that genre to post and share, right? If that is something you struggle with, I get it. But this is my call to action to you. Pick up your camera, shoot your shot at someone in the DM, and go out and create the content that you want to book more of, right? We have to stop using the excuse of, oh, well, I don't have any relevant work, or everything that I have is old, or I've posted it before. Post it again. Repurpose the content. Get hungry. Get scrappy. How can you use this tool, this powerful tool that's in your hand, to go out and make more images so that you can showcase this genre of work that you want to book, right? So listen, if you want to book weddings, you got to show weddings. If you want to book branding, you got to show branding. If you want to book studio portraits, you need to show studio portraits. You guys are getting what I'm saying? And if you feel stuck in like the work that you can show, then you need to get scrappy. You need to start pitching yourself. You need to start doing maybe some pro bono work or some discounted work. Set the parameters. Be very specific with who you work with, how you do it, and making sure that it's really going to work for your portfolio that you're building. This is what pros do. We can't just sit back and wait for the perfect opportunities to always land in our laps. We have to be willing to go and chase it. We have to be willing to go and find it. We have to be willing to get out of our own selves and create the images, create so that we can show up in our marketing. Okay. So again, what you want to book more of, you have to showcase. Okay. Like it has to correlate. It has to correlate. Your audience, if you're thinking about their perspective and they're looking for a photographer, they're looking for a service provider, and you're like, hey, I'm a photographer, I do weddings. The first thing that they're going to come do is come over to your page or go over to your website and look at your work. If they do not see that said work, they're on to the next, right? So we have to always think about our marketing from the perspective of the client, like what the client is experiencing. Kind of take yourself out of your own shoes and think about it from their perspective, right? So that's why my first tip when it comes to marketing for photographers is to get clear on your audience or audiences, right? Get clear. Your visual, get clear. Write it out. Think about the questions they ask you. Think about their desires that they really wanted. Think about what made them maybe it's a past client that is what you would love to make your target audience because they were so amazing. If you could just copy and paste that past client time and time again, you would be a happy business owner, a happy photographer. You know what I mean? If that's the case, then I want you to think about all of the things that made them such a great client, and all the things that energetically felt in alignment with you and how you like to serve, and the questions, the desires, the things that they were concerned about, the ways in which you helped them. Write these things down and start to really dissect this, and this becomes amazing content, right? The other thing that I want to say when it comes to marketing tips for photographers is that you have to be willing to repeat yourself time and time and time again. Now, listen, I know this is annoying and it feels a little weird because you're like, well, I already said it. Like, how many more ways can I say it? Like, why? I've already said it. I've already preached on it. Listen, in the repetition is how things stick to your audience, right? In the repetition is how we build our authority, right? When we are talking about something over and over and over again, that it starts to stick to the audience, and then people start to remember you for that said thing. And if you pay attention to some of the biggest brands and businesses that are out there, the Nikes, the Adidas, I'm thinking about a whole bunch of sports brands right now, but let's think like McDonald's, I don't know, big brands. They say the same things. There's Apple. I was just on Apple's website today because they released some new things. They repeat the same things time and time again because that is how they build the authority. That is how they're known for what they're known for, right? And so when it comes to good marketing, you have to be willing to be repetitive in how you are talking about your services and how you are talking about the desires that your client has and your process and the things that you do to help people get an amazing final result. And it's not just about the result. That's another thing. I think a lot of photographers think it's just about the final images that we deliver, and it's not. It's truthfully about the overarching experience that you give, how you make people feel, and also the experience, like this personal experience. There's something super special about making people feel joyful, making people feel beautiful, right? Giving people like time and care and, showing up as the pro and having it be a great experience. How you make people feel is what people will run and tell the masses about. Okay. So this is really important. So get clear on your audience. Really know that it's about the experience. It's not just about the deliverables. And also when it comes to marketing for photographers, this is something I see a lot of photographers struggle with. It's really important to share about yourself. It's really important to share about yourself. I always push my coaching clients to get professional photos done. How are we trying to get clients to invest in us for a professional photo shoot, but we are not showing our best selves professionally, right? So share about you, right? Make that connection point. Like, who are they coming to meet at the studio, at the park, at that random thing? How do they know that you're their type of person? How do they know the vibe and the energy is going to feel really good, right? Be willing to share about you, right? I literally will scroll to the abyss trying to find who this business owner is. I'm just like looking. And I cannot stand when I can't find them. I'm like, I want to connect with the person that is doing a service for me, whether they're doing my hair, they're doing my lashes, it's a photo shoot, it's a video shoot, it does not matter. I want to connect with the business owner because I want to kind of vibe check. I want to see who I'm spending my money with. I want to see who I'm spending my time with. I want to feel like I can like connect to something and see if they're my type of person. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Your clients want that as well. And I see so many photographers really struggle with this. They do not share about them. They just share their work. They want to be hidden. They want to be in the background. They don't want to put themselves out there, but that's just not always how it works. You literally could be leaving money on the table because there could be people that are like, well, I don't know. I'm trying to vibe check. I'm trying to energy check. And they just don't see it, right? So I think that is an important piece of marketing, is sharing about you, really getting clear on your audience, and being consistent in who you're talking to, right? And so these are tips for marketing tips for photographers. The title of this live is that the best marketer wins, because that's the truth. The best marketer absolutely wins. Like, I know photographers, we want to focus on our skill set and our ability to manipulate light and the best gear and like all the things. And while those things are really, really important, to me, they're very basic when it comes to a business. Like, I know how to shoot. I can shoot up and down, all around. I can create my style. I know I can. But if nobody knows about me, if I'm not putting myself out there, if I'm not showing up as the authority, if I'm not creating content and messaging and marketing materials that get my clients' ears perked up and seeing me as a person that they need to work with, then we're just, I'm just a photographer that takes really great pictures with no clients. You know what I mean? And so we have to really develop as business owners. So if this is hidden, I don't know, let me know. I know people are coming like in and out of the live. If you're new around here, I love that. Thank you for joining this live. My name is Ray Whitney. I am a wedding and portrait photographer turned business coach. I've had my business for the last 13 years, and I have been coaching for the last 7-ish years. And I am about to do the 2.0 version of my business foundational course, From Hobbyist to Pro. The enrollment is open now, and you can just comment grow so you can learn more about that program and join me on the inside. It's going to be really incredible. And inside of that program, I help photographers with their pricing structure. I help photographers with their marketing plan and their content plan. I help them to learn how to articulate their style of work so that they can like be able to describe it in their marketing to potential leads, to current clients, so that you can completely control the environments that you find yourself shooting in, so that the final images are just as bomb as what you're showing on your portfolio. You know, these things really matter when it comes to positioning yourself as a pro, like knowing how to articulate your style, knowing how to control environments, and how to explain to clients like how you like to create best. It's just so important, and it's going to help you find yourself in environments that are going to just be where you're going to warrant and you're going to be able to create beautiful images. So From Hobbyist to Pro 2.0 is going down. Enrollment is open. We get started in April. We will be working together all of April. So what does that mean? Like, you get me as your coach. And I absolutely love when I am like the first coach for my people. Like, that's okay. I welcome that so much over here. I realize that a lot of times photographers don't invest in coaching. They don't invest in their business, right? And so I get to coach with you. And so I get to basically stand in the gaps with you in business, right? I get to give you a perspective from the outside of what I see, right? And so we'll talk about your goals. We'll talk about the challenges that you're met with in business. And then I'll give you what I see, right? Like I'll tell you, hey, like, well, I think we should work on this, or I'm not seeing that, or, you know, so we work on marketing, we work on content. We're going to work on pricing, right? Because pricing is a big one. One thing I see is that photographers severely undercharge, especially like earlier on in their business, or even when you're reaching this new level, you're just undercharging, you're giving so much away, and you're wondering why you're not like hitting your sales goals in the ways that you want to hit them. And one thing I believe in when it comes to pricing is to have like a structure, like have a base price that fits, you know, your minimum, what you're willing to show up in, you know, you can deliver it really, really well. The base, it's like their needs, right? And then I believe in having a premium package, and that is like their needs and wants. It's like the kit and caboodle, right? And when we're creating these packages, it's important that they're priced properly, right? I was recently working with one of my photographer clients and looking at her packages, and it was just everything went up by $100, like $500, $600, $700. And I'm like, no, you know what I mean? Like that, to me, that's just, that's not going to work, because everything went up by $100, but when you, for the packages, like she added more things in that next package, and those additional add-ons in that next package were over $100. Like, it just didn't make sense. This is the thing. Pricing has to absolutely make sense to you. When it makes sense to you and you feel confident in how your pricing structure is set up, you can sell the packages. That is a big part of it. It is a huge part, selling the package. We don't just create these packages for them to sit on the digital shelf, right? We create these packages so that they sell. And so I believe that pricing should absolutely make sense. It should have some type of justification. You should really understand how you got to the number, so that when you go and have consultations or have conversations with potential clients or leads, you can understand the selling point to said package, right? I like to get people to the point where they get a lead in, they get an inquiry in, and just off of what the inquiry has said, you already know what package you want to introduce to them. Like, that is when you know it's good. Okay. So we're going to work on pricing. We're going to do a lot of hot seats. We're going to do some social media audits. We're going to do some website audits. You just get to have me as your coach in your business, right? And unlock some things for you. I think sometimes we're so in it. We're just so in it. We can't see the gaps. We can't see the holes. We can't see some small mistakes or some small things that you need to tighten up that's going to make such huge differences. And so I believe that's what a good coach does. And I have been in your shoes before. Like, I started my business from the ground up. I didn't know much about being a professional photographer. I didn't know about pricing and marketing and like, oh my gosh, y'all, content has changed so much. Like, how we used to produce content when I first started is nowhere near how we're producing content in 2025. But it is our job as business owners to stay on top of the new trends and strategies, and tools for our content. And there's so many amazing tools out, right? So I love to introduce my people to new ways to make content, making content and marketing fun again, making it feel like yourself, right? I'm not going to make you come on live or do a talking head video or do these things if you don't feel comfortable to do it. But I am going to push you to go beyond your comfort zone, because beyond your comfort zone is where the growth happens, right? It's where business occurs. Okay. It's where we really get down to it. So every time I get on live, my nose starts to itch. It's so weird. I'm like, why? Is it because I'm on camera? Like, what is it? It's all day. Anyway, I don't know if I have some photographers watching. If so, let me know. If you have any questions for me, this is a great time to ask here on the live, about marketing, about pricing, about content, about areas that you might be stuck. Comment. Let's chit chat. Let me see who's on here. Kay Bailey, what's up, Bailey Photography? I don't know if you have any questions for me. If so, drop them in the chat. We just chit chatting, okay? So those are my basic marketing tips for photographers for tonight. Again, from hobbyist to pro, enrollment is totally open. It's gonna be a great time. And how I look at when you invest in your business, how I look at it is it's just a drop in the bucket. That's how I look at it. It's just a drop in the bucket. What you're going to get back from placing yourself in this virtual room, or placing yourself around a coach, or placing yourself around someone that can help you see gaps, see holes, give you some help. It's just going to pay off in dividends. And I'm excited about doing this cohort early on in the year, because I believe April, what? We taking off. May through December should be full-fledged take off mode for you, right? And you should absolutely make your little coin back for the cost of From Hobbyist to Pro. This program is a no-brainer. And I've had hundreds, over 100 photographers go through this program, and it's changed so much for their business. And just help them to think like an entrepreneur and think like a business owner. And that's one thing I see photographers truly struggle with. Not thinking like an entrepreneur. You just want to be the photographer, but just being the photographer is not enough. It's just not, it is enough if you just want to kind of have a hobby or kind of be amateur with it and have random people find you here and there. But it's not enough if you want to actually make it a business and find yourself making profit and attracting clients off of the social medias, off the internets, right? There is a reason why some photographers win and excel and some photographers don't. There's a reason to it, okay? So, if you're trying to grow, trying to make your first 25, 50, 75, 100,000, whatever the number is, whatever the goal is, maybe you're trying to book 10 weddings this year, 15, 20 weddings this year. Maybe you're trying to prove to yourself that you can make $5,000, $6,000 in a quarter as a photographer, $5,000, $6,000 a month, $10,000 a month, whatever it is, it's doable. It's possible for you, right? But it's all about developing into a better business owner. And that's going to take you really, really far. So I was going to show you guys my new tether tool setup, but I don't see anybody. I don't know. I don't know if you guys want to see that. But I did want to talk about marketing tips for photographers, because the best marketer wins. And I don't want you to just stay focused on your skill set. I want you to start to think like a business owner. I want you to get in the data and get in metrics and start to think like a business owner, and constantly be putting out content and things so that you can build your momentum and demand, because that is how you build a sustainable business. It's up to you. It's up to you. I think I want to do another live. Maybe it will be, I don't know. I don't know when I'll do it, but I want to do a live around what the roles and real responsibilities of a photographer is, because I think that people have it absolutely confused. I think people have it confused, right? And I think that we want to believe the role and responsibility of photographer is just to shoot, or just to come up with concepts and visual ideas for your client, but it's not. There's so much more to being a business owner or being a photographer than that. And we have to get real, We got to get real. And I tweeted this or made a thread about this. Hey, Chelsea. I made a thread about this earlier, and I said, everything that you have to do in your business, you're not going to love doing. That's just how business goes. Like, everything's not going to feel good. Everything's not going to come natural. Everything is not going to, not be like, it's going to make you feel comfortable. There are a lot of things that you have to do in business that are outside of your comfort zone. Period. Like, it's a lot, So you have to get over this idea of like, oh, that doesn't feel good to me, or procrastinating because you don't want to do it, or, you know what I mean? Like, just like trying to skip steps, like that's sloppy and it's not going to get you that far, right? Remember, everything that you have to do as a business owner, you're not going to love doing. But what you absolutely should love is your offer, your service, the audience that you service, your deliverables, the experience that you give, right? You absolutely should love that. But everything you have to do in business, you're not going to love. Okay? And that's just real tea. That's just real rap right there. So anyways, these are my marketing tips for photographers. I hope it's helpful. If you end up watching this on the replay, let me know. Just give me #replay. If you're interested in From Hobbyist to Pro, please join the cohort. We get started in April, and I'm really excited about it. And I will catch you guys soon. I have so much stuff to share with you guys, but I guess I'll have to just pick another time to show you guys like my behind the scenes and everything. So stay tuned for that. All right. Talk soon, guys. All right. Bye.